302. Phone 0065 629 24900.
Welcome back, and you are watching SATV News. Now news from abroad. Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Al-Khamenei said that if the US attacked Iran, it would create a regional conflict, state media reported on Sunday. Amid heightened tensions between Washington and Tehran, US has built up its naval presence in the Middle East after President Donald Trump repeatedly threatened Iran with intervention if it didn't agree in a nuclear deal or failed to stop killing protesters. Khamenei also said Iranian people will not be stirred by threats. Iran is not the intention and doesn't want to attack any country, but the Iranian nation will strike a strong blow against anyone who attack and harasses them. He further added, US Navy currently has 6 destroyers, 1 aircraft carrier, and 3 littoral combat ships in the region. Meanwhile, US President Donald Trump on Sunday downplayed comments from Iran's supreme leader warning for a potential regional conflict, in stating US is the biggest, most powerful ship in the world over there. They're very close, and hopefully the two countries will make a deal. The remark made people. Trump attended a wedding for the Mar-a-Lago state came as U.S.-Israel military official held a closed-door meeting at the Pentagon on Friday amid growing tensions with Iran, 2 U.S. officials told Reuters. Speaking to the condition of anonymity, General Dan Cohen, chairman of Joint Chief of Staff Israeli Armed Forces, Chief Zal Zamir, discussed undisclosed matter during the previously unreported talks. The Pentagon meeting followed U.S. move in the boost naval strength, air defenses in the Middle East. Iran leadership cautions against the U.S. attack, warning that such action could spark a border conflict. On Saturday, Donald Trump said India will buy Venezuela oil as opposed to purchasing oil from Iran. Regarding Canada, the U.S. president said the United States would respond in a significant way if Canada proceed with the trade agreement that it negotiated with China. Iran considers as terrorist group the armies of EU countries that listed the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps on the block list in the terrorist organization. The speaker on the Iranian parliament said on Sunday the European Union marked a symbolic shift in approach of Iran leadership on Thursday by designating the Revolutionary Guard as a terrorist organization, following what turned out to Republican bloodiest crackdown for the protest since its establishment in 1979. By trying to hit the Revolutionary Guard, the Europeans actually shot themselves in a foot and once again made a decision against the interest of the people by blindly owing the American. Speaker Mohammad Barak Kaliba told to fellow lawmakers who all wore Revolutionary Guard uniform in support of the elite force. According to Article 7 of the law, enter terms against the designation for Revolutionary Guard as a terrorist organization, the armies of European countries are considered terrorist group. He also added, Kaliba said the National Security Parliamentary Commission will deliberate expulsion of EU country military arms issue with Foreign Ministry. Former British government minister Peter Mandelson has resigned as a member of Prime Minister Keir Starmer Labour Party after response to the ties with disgraced US franchise Jeffrey Epstein. The Mandelson, who was tried by Starmer as a Britain ambassador to United States last year, after previous revelation about the connection to Spain that he didn't wish to cause a further embarrassment to Labour. The Mandelson said he believed allegation about financial payment to him by Spain and the Epstein, which appeared to British media based on the file released by the US Justice Department, were false, and he would investigate them. The Mandelson was key to the Labour Party electoral success. Then Tony Blair was Prime Minister starting in the 1990s. Slovakian Prime Minister Robert Fico, National Security Advisor, has resigned after new flies related to Jeffrey Epstein showed the pair heading dents. Messages talking about women. National Security Advisor and ex-Foreign Minister Miroslav Laskak issued a statement denying any wrongdoing and condemning Epstein crime. He also described the exchange as informal and light-hearted and without any real substance, but he said it would offer his resignation so the situation would not be used to attack the Prime Minister. Fico announced in a video message on Facebook on Saturday he had accepted Laskak's resignation, calling the advisor an incredible source of experience and diplomacy and foreign policy. The U.S. Justice Department on Friday published millions of new files related to Spain, including a text exchange from October 2018 when Laskak was Slovakia Foreign Minister.
Je tak bombastické, ako keby sme hovorili o odvolávaní prezidenta Slovenskej republiky. Pritom ide o
Israel has reopened Gaza's Rafah border crossing with Egypt on Monday for limited traffic, according to Egyptian and Israeli officials, in a major step forward for the U.S. broken ceasefire agreement between Israel and Hamas. An Egyptian official is speaking to the AP on condition on enmity said the 50 Palestinians would be allowed to cross in each direction on the first day the border opens, which has been closed for nearly 2 years. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said Israel will allow up to 50 patients a day to depart Gaza, accompanied by 2 relatives on the closing. He also noted the 50 Palestinians wishing to return home will be given passage daily. About 20,000 Palestinians in enclave are hoping to leave territory to revive medical treatment, according to local health officials. If the current code remains in the place, it will take over 1 year for those need to receive medical attention. "15 people were killed and 7 severely injured after Russian drone struck in a bus carrying miners in Ukraine's southeastern, the Dnipro region. Energy from DTEK and government officials said on Sunday. Police said the attack took place in the city. The Tarineva footage posted by the State Emergency Service showed a shared bus with shattered window that has veered off the road. The attack came hours after President Volodymyr Zelensky announced that the second round of U.S. brokered trilateral talks between Ukraine and Russia would take place next week. DTK said in a statement the Russian forces had carried out a massive terrorist attack on a Company 9 for the reason, and that all the dead or wounded were its employees returning from a shift. Dmitry Medvedev, deputy chairman of Russia Security Council, said the European power had faced the defeat Russia in Ukraine had inflicted severe economic harm on themselves and trying to do so. He also made the comment during an interview with Reuters. The Medvedev also said the European power wanted to inflict strategic defeat on Russia, but they had not achieved anything. A proposal by European power to deploy NATO member troops in Ukraine as part of security guarantee and peace deal is unacceptable for Russia, said Dmitry Medvedev, deputy chairman of Russia Security Council. Medvedev said that Russia term for ending a conflict were unchanged from 2024 when President Vladimir Putin set out a speech on the foreign ministry.
Политических целей разрушают фундамент собственного экономического благополучия для того, чтобы наказать Россию. Это паразит.
China has carried out the death sentence for the 4 members of a bi-family criminal group on large-scale cross-border telecom fraud and violent crime targeting Chinese citizens, according to report from the Supreme People's the Prosecutor for China on Monday. The execution followed a final approval by Supreme People's Court after appeals by defendant were rejected, an original death sentence upheld. Since 2015, the criminal gang headed by the Beishou chain built over 41 large-scale compounds in northern Myanmar to carry out telecom fraud and illegal online gambling operations, said the Chinese Ministry of Public Security. This scam council that used of aggressively conduct illegal activities targeting Chinese citizens and to lure individuals from China into crossing border illegally to engage in gambling and fraudulent scheme. Investigation further revealed the criminal group maintained armed control over the center and condoned violent enforcement tactics, including abuse, assault, and even murder of lower-level telecom fraud operative. China's foreign ministry said on Monday that it firmly opposes the use of art award for political manipulation after the Dalai Lama was awarded in a Grammy in the United States. Award was for the spoken word album, Meditations for the Reflection. His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the 68th German award in the highest honor for the music industry, was presented at the ceremony of Los Angeles on Sunday and were hosted by comedian Trevor Noah. Tenzin Gyatso, the 14th Dalai Lama, fled into exile in India 1959 with thousands of Taliban after failed uprising against the Chinese rule. Since then, he has advocated a non-violent middle way approach to seeking autonomy for religious freedom for Taiwan's, earning the 1989 Nobel Peace Prize for his effort. The candidate for the governing Conservative Sovereign People's Party, Laura Fernandez, has won the presidential election in Costa Rica. With more than 88% of vote counted, the Fernandez had over 48% for the vote, far ahead of second-place centrist candidate Alberto Ramos, who concealed defeat. Fernandez's promise of deepening through the crime approach of outing President Rodrigo Chávez, who had handpicked a successor. Voters said they were concerned about a surge in drug-related violence in the Central American country. The size of her vote share, which exceeded the 40% needed outright the first round, means there is no need for the runoff. Fernandez will be shown in the 8th May. In her victory speech, 39-year-old said he would plug ahead with the policy introduced by Chávez's chief of staff was that. At least 9 people were killed and 26 others injured when a passenger bus crashed in Atlanta, Turkey on Sunday. Accident took place as the bus carrying 34 passengers were traveling from the Tergin Atlaya in rainy conditions. Emergency crew arrived on scene, attending injured and carrying victims onto stretcher for medical care and treatment as well. Following the tragic accident, the Antalya governor Hossein Sahin said a technical investigation would reveal the precise cause for the accident. Before ending, we go through the SATV News headlines again. A political party making a derogatory remark about women, said Tariq Rahman, "I did not hack. The party is spreading lies to mislead people." Countrymen will show BNP a red card in elections, said Jamaat Islami chief. People to get a new Bangladesh from February 13. No one will get away with committing crime during elections, said Home Advisor. Government is ready to hold free, fair and festive polls. You are up to date with the top stories so far here on SATV, and to know the latest news, visit www.satv.tv. Stay with SATV.